What's going on? Vincent Rapsardi, BigBlueUnbiased.com. I'm going to get right into it, okay? Wow. Heartbreaking loss for the Giants. Evan Engram. Okay, we're just going to start off with Evan Engram. The tipped interception, right, hurts Daniel Jones, hurts the Giants with the tipped interception. He should have caught it. Tips it into the air, intercepted. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. A little over 2 minutes left. Right in his hands. You couldn't have thrown a ball better, right? Perfect throw by Daniel Jones. And Evan Engram straight up drops it, right? Almost kind of reminded me a little bit of the Wes Welker play in Super Bowl 46. A little bit, right? And then he just drops it and he walks away like, okay, whatever. It's like the first quarter, right? Just a normal drop. No, it's the fourth quarter, right? There's like a little over 2 minutes left. Evan Engram drops a perfect pass that literally would have won the Giants the football game, right? Essentially. And he just walks off the field like, okay, whatever. Like it's the first quarter. It's just a normal drop, right? Or a preseason game. And I think everyone was like, that was a huge drop. Perfect throw. Look, it is not reactionary to believe that the Giants should move on from Evan Engram after this kind of game. Because they should, okay? They should. They've given him enough time to prove himself. He gets so many opportunities, and he just never lives up to potential. And I saw a lot of people say he's just not a winner. He's a talented player, but he's not like a good football player, right? There's a difference between being a good football player, right? Fundamentally, a good football player, good technique, catching the football well. And then there's a difference between just being really fast. And Evan Engram is kind of just really fast, and that's really it. That's all he's got. Now, this could have been a season-changing kind of game for the Giants. Aside from the NFC East picture, obviously, right? If they had won their second game of the season, legitimate NFC East contenders. Not that they're not. I guess they're still in it, right? They're still in it because it's a bad division. But for Joe Judge and Daniel Jones, it would have been like legitimate positive momentum against a good quarterback, opposing quarterback in Carson Wentz on the road against a division rival. Especially with Daniel Jones playing well in Thursday's game against the Eagles. He played well. It's just the positive momentum for the Giants and for Jones and for the first-year head coach really would have been trending in the right direction. All of a sudden, I think people would really kind of start to believe in the Giants a little bit. Just a little bit. And now, okay, Jones played well, but the Giants, they fell short. Wins are wins and losses are losses. I talked about that last week, right? People were complaining about the Giants winning. I said, look, a win's a win. You take a win however you can get them. And that is true in any situation. And as you can see, I mean, if the Giants had won this game, whatever way it was, some serious momentum moving forward. But now they lose some momentum. I'm not saying they have no chance in the NFC East because it's a bad division, so they do have a chance. But momentum slows down for the Giants. Okay, so let's talk about Daniel Jones. So in back-to-back games, all right, he's performed fairly well. Last week had a QBR of 83, ran for 74 yards on the ground. This week had 92 rushing yards, a QBR of 76, and that includes the tipped interception by Evan Engram. So you take away that interception, his QBR is going to be over 80, most likely, for 2 straight weeks. So he's trending in a positive direction in QBR, right? QBR is on a scale of 100, so it's not passer rating, it's QBR. So posting a QBR in the 80s, that's a really solid performance. So you may not be completely sold on Daniel Jones, but he's trending in the right direction. And he's one of the most valuable and underrated mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, okay? It seems like every week he's doing something, fairly well on the ground. He's running the ball fairly well. So he is trending in the right direction. Andrew Thomas had his struggles again in pass protection. I think next week the Giants consider changing something up, right? I think either Andrew Thomas gets benched. If the Giants truly want to have a meritocracy, right? They want to base their team on performance and not just draft status and contracts. Either they bench him or maybe they go in a different direction and say, okay, yeah, we kind of like meritocracy, but at the same time, he's the 4th overall pick. So maybe he starts at right tackle or splits time with Cam Fleming, because Cam Fleming is better than Andrew Thomas at this point. I know a lot of Giants fans don't like Cam Fleming, but at this point he is. So if you're the Giants and you're trying to compete, win football games, Cam Fleming is the better option at this point when it comes to pass protection. So we'll see what the Giants do. If it were up to me, I would at least split snaps with Cam Fleming and Andrew Thomas at right tackle. And I would play Matt Parrott at left tackle. That's what I would do. Sterling Shepard was back from injured reserve. He played really well. 6 catches, a touchdown. Daniel Jones, he likes Sterling Shepard. Those two, before Thursday's game, on average, 8 targets per game to Sterling Shepard from Daniel Jones in full games. So those two, the Giants need Sterling Shepard to stay healthy. because he is a huge asset to Daniel Jones. Okay, so let's finish up with the Giants defense, right? They didn't finish, right? They allowed the game-winning touchdown pass to Boston Scott, but I thought they played fairly well. I mean, look, Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, and he made a great throw and it was a great catch. 10 quarterback hits. Again, they're piecing together a pass rush. They don't really have a dominant edge rusher. There's no Khalil Mack on the Giants, but they're piecing together a pass rush. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this positive talk after a loss like the Giants just had on Thursday night, but their defense, I've actually been fairly impressed. They were terrible last year. And now they're at least average, right? They're at least an average defense. To go from terrible to at least average in 1 year with young players, now it's interesting. I'm kind of interested to see what step they're going to take next season, especially with more potential free agent ads, whether that's at corner, which they need to do, at corner or edge rush or wherever it might be. But it's an interesting group. I think you watch them, you're like, I wonder what they're going to do this week. They're really piecing together a pass rush, and they're doing a pretty good job. Look, Patrick Graham is in a tough spot. He's got Madre Harper and Ryan Lewis playing legitimate snaps. Ryan Lewis had a penalty late in the game, and then he got toasted for a big play. Madre Harper allowed a touchdown at the end of the game. So it's tough. It's a tough spot for a defensive coordinator when you're playing like practice squad level corners out there. So let's wrap it up. This was a very tough loss for the Giants. Evan Engram, I hate to be, blame it on one guy, but literally if he had caught that pass, a perfect pass to Giants, they're 2-5 and they would have some momentum. This loss is on Evan Engram.